I'm listening.
Dust and stones. What happened here?
That's a lot of corpses.
But Malik wasn't... No matter. We need to find Arrakis. Go. Dust and stones.
Rebellions are bloody.
They must be done. See the beards?
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Try to keep up.
Beardless scum! You're going to pay!
That's a civilian.
Let's push on.
For Arrakis!
Get ready!
No one lives forever.
You got it.
Gravel-eating scum. Time's up!
No?
This is it.
Sounds like a plan. I am on it.
All right, here we are. The Granite Castle. Ready, General? I'm not sure I want to know what's happening in there.
Worried about your brother?
I don't know what I'm worried about. Let's just get this over with, okay? Let's find Arrakis, incarcerate him, and end this mess once and for all.
Okay, let's go in.
As if the castle walls shut out the reality beyond them, an eerie quiet surrounds you inside. No corpses, no fires, no tang of ashes and blood. Only the polished granite tiles and the massive pillars holding up the ceiling and the mountain above it.
Stones, look out!
She's with the rebels! Crush them!
Make it good.
You know the way, right? Here we go. All right, here goes nothing.
Tiara's breath. That thing was tough.
A guardian golem. They were made to protect, not to harm. The guards must have been desperate to awaken them.
And no sign of your brother.
There.
What's he doing?
Let me see.
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards are dead.
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards are dead.
What?
What?
What on Io is this? It's like he's not even aware of us.
Norse claws, of course. The rune.
Rune?
The rune Rondar Lakain used during the Purity Wars, remember? I told you about it. The Purity of Light used it to control Lady Myra Utran's mind. The way Arrakis is behaving, this catatonia. It's just like how Lady Myra was after Tahar broke the rune's influence on her. High Hierophant Arrakis is under mind control, Erev. He was.
Wait, you mean someone is controlling him? Who?
Circle Mage Iskrim, of course. It has to be Iskrim. He's the only one who knows how to handle the rune. He's the one who has it.
Guardians. You're right.
Hold on. What the stones are you talking about? Mind control, rune? If anybody is controlling Arrakis, then it's the God of Light. You heard what?
No, Rera, you don't understand. Iskrim is the dwarf Wraith saw during the ritual. He's the corrupted, not Arrakis. Look, during the Purity Wars, Rondar Lakain used a Shaper runestone to exert mind control over an influential noble in the north, Lady Myra Utran. Jarrus told me the story. Despite the dangers, Circle Mage Iskrim was fascinated by the technology, and he must have continued to research it, without the Queen's permission.
Then... a Circle Mage did this. But... why?
I don't know, but Arrakis must have been a puppet, and all this... the Granite Suns, the monument, Iskrim forced him to do it. We have to...
There's the bastard. Good.
Malik, where were you?
Where do you think? Outside, putting down Arrakis's dogs.
That's a bloodbath out there. Was that really necessary? You were supposed to blow up the monument and then sneak into the castle.
Aye, but things got messy. What do you expect us to do? Fight the guards with candy and pillows? But don't worry, it's almost over. All that's left to do now is put down the bad shepherd and the rest of his lambs.
You want to kill him? That wasn't part of the plan, Malik.
Plans change.
Arrakis wasn't in charge of all this. He was under mind control.
Mind control? Huh? Well, that doesn't change the fact that he's got blood on his hands, too. First, we take care of him, and then we find whoever was making the monkey dance.
You're starting to sound just like him.
Oh, get off your high horse, Rera. You're not calling the shots here, not this time. Now, the only reason you came back after you ditched me here was because you wanted to feel good about yourself. And even then, you couldn't wait to jump ship again and run off with that traitor general and his army. You have no fucking idea what it's like down here.
Now stand aside and let me finish what we started.
No. We helped you under the assumption that you were gonna help Windhelm, not orchestrate a bloodbath. Arrakis lives, and so will his underlings. In prison.
Don't you dare order me around. Don't you fucking dare! Is that the best you should move?
Patience! Not yet!
Let's find this Iskrim.
Are you all right, Rhett?
I'm good. Now, where can we find the one who did this? Do you think he's here? In Windhelm?
Thoughts, anyone?
The rune only has a very limited range. So, yes, he must be here. He was here all the time.
Hold on. Didn't your brother mention something about an odd dwarf going in and out of the tunnels, Rera?
You mean that was him?
It's a possibility.
Right. Well, then let's find the man. I'd like to have a calm and rational discussion with him.
What do you want? All right, I'm going.
Yes?
Even well down into the lower layers of the city, the fighting continues. At least, that's what the din of cries, fires, and clashing axes suggests.
Here we are. Let's hope we're right and he hasn't made a run for it yet.
We should try that grave first, remember? The one we found last time we were here?
Good point.
Go ahead.
Ugh, cramp.
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Hear that?
Iskrim.
Iria?
We know what you did, Iskrim. You used the rune to orchestrate the rise of the Granite Suns. Arrakis was your puppet.
So, the secret's out. I knew it would be eventually.
Stones, why? Why the stones would you do something like this? Do you know how many people you've killed?
Do you know whose grave this is?
How should I know?
It's Gilak Orblades, the founder of the first Blackstone rebels, whose name you borrowed. King Rorik executed him 20 years ago.
I know who Gilak Orblade was. A hero. What does he have to do with you?
He was my husband.
You're... what?
It's true, Rara. I should have told you earlier, but I don't know. It was private.
So, Gilak Orblade was your... what? Your lover?
Is the idea that absurd, Gilak? All he ever wanted to do was good. He didn't fool himself into believing he could save the entire world. Just a touch of good, here and there. That's why he founded the rebels. They weren't even violent to begin with. Just a voice against the injustices that happened under King Rorik's reign. And what did he get in return? Right. The king had him murdered. And when they presented his body to the public, everyone cheered.
I don't follow. King Rorik killed your husband, I understand that. But why on Io would you use the rune to mastermind the rise of another tyrant because of that?
Because I wanted to make them see! I wanted to make these stupid, gullible fools who enable people like Rorik and Arrakis to see how endlessly rotten they really are! And it worked, didn't it? All it took were empty words and hatred, and look at what happened. If we dwarves are really that easy to break, that easy to manipulate, then blood and ashes are all we deserve. Arrakis was a test, and they failed it.
Why have you released Arrakis now?
Why? Because there's no point anymore. The test is over. And Windholm has failed.
The rebellion succeeded, didn't it? So how did Windholm fail your test?
They failed it the moment they elevated Arrakis into power. Restore Windholm to its former glory. Gravel Eaters, Granite Sons. Empty words. Pandering, sycophancy through and through. How could anyone believe this nonsense? And yet they did. They cheered, they hated, and they killed for it. As for the rebels, I had high hopes for them. But the more powerful they became, the clearer it became to me that they were ultimately no better than Arrakis. Look at the bloodbath up there. They did that. Give a man an axe, and you see his true face.
Malik made them do it. This wasn't what I stood for. This wasn't what any of us stood for.
And yet they obeyed when your brother commanded them to commence the slaughtering. Admit it, Hailstone. It's just in our blood. We dwarves deserve no better.
In other words, Arrakis was your puppet from the very start.
For 5 moons. Not from the start. You see, Arrakis was always a hate-monger at heart. That's why I chose him. Preached racial purity. Yet slept with an elf. What he lacked was simply the rhetorics and the charisma to take over. So I used the rune on him, and helped out with that.
So you did all this to prove a point?
Call it what you will. The truth is, had these people not been so foolish, Windwall would still be at peace now, and Gilak would still be alive.
You bloody arrogant piece of shit! You played God. That's what this was about. Don't you dare pretend it was any different.
I threw a carcass into the arena, Hailstone. The lions tore it apart.
Well, Windholm is in flames and hundreds of dwarves are dead. Are you happy?
Quite the opposite. But it wasn't me. I never had Arrakis order the death of anyone. What happened out there? Those fools did it to themselves. And that includes your brother, Rara Hailstone. He was only waiting for a chance to get his hands bloody.
You know nothing about my brother.
Oh, but I do. I know that you and he resurrected the Blackstone rebels. And at first, I actually even supported you. Does the name Turfa Smeltgrip ring a bell? Your most generous supporter. I planted that idea inside her head.
Wait. You built up the Blackstone rebels?
I supported them. But the more I watched, the more I realized that they were as bad as Arrakis' lackeys. Just in a different uniform. What your brother did out there, Rara Hailstone, only proves my point.
Iskrim, you were also being manipulated. You're one of the corrupted, one of the God of Light's tools.
The God of Light? What are you talking about?
The God of Light is trying to re-enter the world. It's part of an ancient prophecy, Jakku. There are 4 corrupted whose task it is to sow chaos and help with its plan. And you are one of them. You might not have been aware of it, but the God of Light influenced your actions.
What? But... no. This is nonsense. I did this because the dwarves deserved it. We all...
Corrupted or not, I don't give a shit. You have blood on your hands, Circle Mage Iskrim, and you're gonna answer for it. General, I hope you have a spare cell in the Greykeep dungeons. A lightless one with rats.
He'll be tried and punished, yes. Iskrim, promise me that you're not gonna put up a fight. There's been enough bloodshed today.
Do what you want. I did what I had to.
Oh, General. Do you have a moment?
Your Majesty, I'm sorry for the delay. There was something I needed to take care of.
You are excused. We were just discussing the events in Windholm. Iria, you say you noticed nothing strange about Iskrim all this time? I am not blaming you. I simply imagine he must have worked on this plan for quite some time before realizing it.
Well, you know how Iskrim is. When he wasn't abroad on his expeditions, he was in his laboratory researching the rune and how the Shapers used it. He would have had plenty of time to work on this plan of his.
Though that raises the question as to when corruption starts. So was it Sheogded who put this idea into his head? Or was it already there and Sheogded merely twisted it for his own purposes?
Either explanation is unsettling.
Well, unsettling or not, what matters is that we took one more of Sheogded's corrupted out of the equation. Also, High Hierophant Arrakis won't be a problem any longer. You did good work, Rara Hailstone. And so did you, General.
Will putting Iskrim in chains really neutralize his influence as a corrupted?
It has to. If he's locked away, how can he advance Jakku? We only need to make certain the locks are safe enough.
Indeed. And even if it were not so, we cannot and will not execute a Circle Mage based on mere conjecture. I am certain you understand.
Have you already spoken to Iskrim, Your Majesty?
Not yet. But I plan on doing so very soon.
Provided that he wants to. Ever since we dragged him out of those catacombs, he hasn't said a single word.
I will get him to talk.
What will become of Arrakis?
We will leave that up to the Prince to decide. Let us just hope that the rest of Hailstone's rebels are wiser than her brother.
They are. And just so you know, the Blackstone rebels will stick with you until you've done what you must.
Thank you, Hailstone. I appreciate your loyalty. General Aref, I advise that you set out to the meeting with this man from Imperia as soon as you can. The less time we lose, the better. This conclave is concluded.
Yes?
Hey, need something?
Would you like to spend some time together?
I'd love to. But I don't think now is the best time, do you? We've got a mission to prepare for. But hey, how's this? Once all this mess is taken care of, we make a run for it. Just a fortnight, then we'll come back.
Where to?
Into the blue, just the two of us. That is, if the world still exists by then.
We'll make sure of that. I'll see you around, and, stay safe.
You too. Hey, needs...
I wanted to check in with you, see how you're doing. Especially after... well...
After we met Tahar's murderer? I appreciate the concern, but really, I'm fine. If anything, I'm glad that the murderer has a face now. Or a mask, in this case. I can't change that Tahar's gone, but I can make sure that the bastards responsible pay.
They have a lot to answer for, that's for sure. We'll catch them, Area. I'll make sure of it.
That's what I like to hear. Now, where were we?
So, tell me a little more about yourself.
Personal or professional interest?
A bit of both.
I see. Well, here's the deal.
All right. Do you miss
I think, though, I'm probably just...
What? Carp?
You play too?
Of course not.
Oh, come on.
What do you Carp?
Sometimes you play too? Well, then we should...
Well...
Hold... Okay. I hope this isn't too personal. Was there ever a... someone in your life? Like a significant other?
No.
Always the lone wolf, then. Where were we?
I'll spend...
You too.
What do you need?
That way?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Oh, hello again.
I'd like something crafted.
I know of just the thing. Here's the list.
I'll be good.
Aye. Be seeing you.
If there's any treasure involved, I call dibs.
Surfacer! Surfacer! Welcome back. Did you find any moon silver artifacts?
Here's what I found.
Ah, wonderful! Thank you so much, Surfacer. Compensation, as agreed. The Society would also like you to have this, as a token of our appreciation. You are a true patron of history. Let me know if you find anything else on your travels.
What is it?
Fair enough. Let's do this.
Out of the way.
Take them out!
I'll take a look.
Yes, I'm on it.
Go for the eyes!
We can take them. Here we go.
So it must be.
killed one of our heroes.
Come on, we're not losing you.
What do you want?
So, what's the plan?
This way.
Got it.
Keep it up.
Yes.
Oh, hello again.
Here's what you asked for.
Aye. That'll do the trick. Is it tight? My best work can't be rushed. Here we are. Use it well.
I'll be going.
Aye. Be seeing you.
Give
Out
the
of the
word.
way.